What's going on, beautiful people? Thank you for returning back to my channel, The Root Wave. In this episode of Check This Out, I got my boy Kemal and my boy Barry. Say what up, guys.
Yo.
Alright, so what we're gonna do in this episode is go over a article on Hedge about the top 1% wealth, how it's surpassing $100 trillion. We're going to talk about how virtual reality is helping people with phobias, the McDonald's pranksters that ended up getting a deal from them for some stunt that they pulled, and then the last one is about a stadium worker doing something nasty to food. So
super nasty.
Yeah, super nasty. All right, guys. So first off, let's go into the Hedge article. The article says wealth of top 1% surpasses $100 trillion, more than global GDP and all central bank balance sheets. Now, did you guys get a chance to read this lovely article?
Right. No surprise there.
Yeah. So basically, the article is saying the rich, especially in the 2008 era of that recession that we had, ended up getting even richer. So now the top 1% is sharing about $100 trillion. It also talks about how the young population is unable to get work. There doesn't seem to be any fix from the 2008 collapse. People are not trusting the banks, the whole system in general. They even get into the fact that this is leading to how the elections globally are being affected, because now people, instead of voting for regular Joe Schmo, let's say politicians, they're looking for business people or people that actually are fighting the system. So let's start off with Kemal. Kemal, what you got to say about this?
Well, I actually read a statement before I even heard about the article. I heard it said there's a millionaire fact. I don't know how accurate this is, but this seems pretty accurate. It says 1,700 people in America are becoming millionaires every day. That's crazy, right? 1,700 millionaires every day. So there's no surprise that billionaires now kind of have most of the money, especially it says 1%, right? So not surprised, man, especially after 2008. I feel like they got richer and we got poorer, because they were able to buy all those assets at a like extremely low price, and then all those assets now are worth like 10x, so.
Right, they're saying that also those people have access to a lot of data and knowledge that the layman person would not have. What about you, Barry? What's going on?
And that's a good point. And you brought up something to Kemal too about that divide from the rich to the poor people. And that divide is it's like it's separating even further now, with this information. And that kind of database, it's nothing that it's messed up how the elite have the access to it, and the average Joe Schmo don't. But it's nothing that you have to buy into or pay into to get it, and it's just a simple read. But it's just not made available to everyone, and I think that's information should be general to anybody.
Yeah, that's very true.
It should be free.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, you can learn this stuff on your own, but nobody's giving it to you. Nobody's spoon feeding it to you. Like,
right.
I mean, the system alone is confusing and shit. It's just fucking nuts. But yeah, let's see where this goes, because a lot of what's happening today, politically, economically, it's huge. There's a lot of shit going on nobody's talking about, and I don't know. I guess we have to see what happens. I know there's a lot of factors happening, but yeah, let's move on from this. Let's go to the RT video that I found on YouTube about virtual reality helping people deal with phobias. Now, the video basically just shows how they're using virtual reality to have people not be scared of what they're scared of, right? So like airplanes, heights, spiders, bugs. But the reason that this was interesting for me is not necessarily this phobia thing, but the fact that virtual reality is going to be like something really big in the future, and I feel like little by little it's trying to creep its head into the mainstream, right? So what do you have to say about this, Barry?
Coming from somebody who likes tech, just the notion of virtual reality I think is pretty cool and interesting. It shows progression in society and how far we come with technology. And what we can do with technology. As far as the article, I'm not too sure how well that's gonna work with, trying to get somebody over their fears, because virtual reality or not, your brain still processes what you're seeing as the real thing, right? So whatever it is that you're afraid of, I think whether you use virtual reality or whether you actually put that particular thing in front of you, it's going to be the same effect to me. I personally don't like bees at all, so virtual reality still won't help that for me.
What do you got to say about it, Kemal?
Well, yeah, I agree with Barry. For example, I have a fear of roller coasters, and it's not that it's not exciting. I just feel like I have a lot of anxiety when I'm up there because my brain thinks a lot. The only thing I would think about up there is not how much fun I'm gonna have, is what if I'm that 0.1111% guy that gets stuck up there? And I'm like, is that really worth the line, the heat, and all of this? I'm like, it's not, So if I did virtual reality and it, helps me cope with this, I think it would help me to an extent. But it's, nothing beats the real thing. The real experience is so much different. So I think it will help you, but how much it will help you, I think, is the real debate. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird though, because sometimes this stuff is getting so good that you put them on and it really makes you feel like, yo, you're really there. I would assume that if you get on a virtual roller coaster 100 times, like let's say twice a day until you decide to get on one, I'm sure like you're gonna be desensitized and maybe get on one. But I also understand your thing, because your brain is still kind of processing the fact that one isn't real, one is fake. It's kind of crazy, but I just feel like this is definitely gonna get into the mainstream. This is not financial advice, but I've been reading a lot, and a lot of what people are investing in right now, and I'm talking about like the very base of this, are starting to invest in this stuff because they're saying that it's going to be something huge, sort of like what you see in movies when they're like, I don't know, like getting a lap dance from some virtual girl or some shit. Like it's supposed to be some crazy shit like that. I don't know if you ever saw that movie Her, with like the artificial intelligence.
Yes. Yeah. Great movie.
Great fucking movie, but another reality. Like holy shit! Like all of that, it's supposed to be part of the future, and I really highly believe it. I also highly believe looking into investing in it. Not financial advice, but something that I'm doing. But it's a good thing to kind of look into, because some of these major companies are coming, and they're coming hard, and one day they're gonna come out with something that you're gonna be like, holy shit, All right, let's move on to the next one, which is the McDonald's pranksters. Who I guess what they ended up doing was, now I saw the video that they made. They basically are saying that due to the fact that that Asians are not represented in marketing, right, in advertising and marketing. So when you go into McDonald's, you see a whole bunch of like Caucasian families just having fun and eating McDonald's on their advertisement on the wall. But they decided that they were going to take a picture eating McDonald's and then post it up on the wall. And then, what is he laughing at? Did I say something?
No, it was just like, I'm gonna post a picture on the wall. Like.
All right. I'm gonna keep going.
Like, how many people gonna look at that wall, bro? Like 0.
Yeah, but
I'm sorry, bro. I couldn't.
No, I didn't know. I thought I fucked up. I was like, damn, did I say something?
It was just so funny. It was like, yo, who gives a fuck? Like, I don't care what they're marketing. Like, I mean, unless they just always market white people.
Well, it's funny because...
Like, what are you gonna do next? Oh, they don't market Jewish people. Oh, they don't market Ecuadorian people. Oh, they don't market Jamaican people. Like, when is it gonna fucking stop, man?
Yeah, I know, you're right, but...
Do you see any Bosnians on the fucking marketing? Like, give me a fucking break, man.
Now, these guys are saying that they ended up taking a picture and then going into McDonald's, sneaking in, putting it up there, and then I guess no one noticed. It was up there for a while. Then they made this video documenting the whole thing. But for me, the video seemed very... First of all, if they thought of this like a grand scheme, then yo, genius, because they got the attention and they got everything. For me, I feel that's what they did, because the video was too commercial friendly, right? Like they were kind of like trying to say, hey, look, we're just decent guys trying to do this thing for Asian awareness, and you know, using a lot of like stuff that hopefully McDonald's or somebody would be like, oh, cool, yeah, right? Which I guess ended up happening because then McDonald's started reaching out to them and I guess gave them a check for a couple of grand for this stunt. The video went viral. Your thoughts, Kemal?
You know, I think the key word there is stunt. You know, I would probably want to, you know, raise awareness to, or do they really care, or is it really a stunt? You know, so I'm not a big fan of what they did, you know, because like I said, I think it's a stunt. I'm not sure if it's genuine. You know, so that's kind of my thoughts on it. I don't think it's genuine. I think it's more of a stunt. It's not really, you know, I think they just want to profit off of this. So maybe they were aware of, you know, that the marketing is, you know, not towards Asians or whatever, but I think it's more of a stunt, and they're just trying to profit off it versus actually caring and trying to do something for that community. So
right, in business, any press is good press. So McDonald's probably was like, yo, this is good, let's jump on it and let's spin it. That's just how PR works. I don't know why people pretend like people are cranking out shit in the news or the media or commercials with good faith. A lot of it's just trying to see how can we make more money off of it. But yeah, so I did see that they were doing that. Definitely looks like a stunt to me, but you also have to realize that nowadays everything is like, yo, if it isn't a stunt, I'm not gonna make it. And I think that's what a lot of the shit that's going on. But go ahead, Barry, what do you got to say about it?
Yeah, that's true, because you know everybody wants some kind of way to come up, right? Everybody wants to be able to make, you know, even if it's not like big money, some kind of decent amount of money, right? Off of some kind of stunt that nobody's done before.
Right.
And that's the thing that's in question for me for that video. I do wonder their sincerity behind it, and their, you know, I wonder if it's really genuine or if it was just, you know, hey, I'm bored today, let's go do this and see what happens, right?
Yeah. What did they do with that money, by the way? Did they donate it to any, you know, good cause?
Yeah, you read about that. I don't know if they did. That's a good point. Let's move on to the next one, which is this nastiness, which I didn't even look at because I just don't like watching this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
What, the spitting video?
Yeah, so it says stadium worker seen spitting on pizza in viral video may face charges. Yeah, it's just gross. I guess this guy just ended up spitting in somebody's food at one of these.
He didn't spit. He hawked.
Yeah.
That, in my opinion, there are two different ways to spit, right? Spit and then hawk, yeah. Like a hawk, like a. Yeah, have you ever seen Ace Ventura when he, just, you know, snorting all the good stuff, you know?
Bumblebee tuna.
Yeah, and that means I love you, you know, that we're best friends.
What do you got to say about this, Barry?
That's just disgusting. I mean,
Barry, how would you feel if somebody spit in your pizza? There's a video of it.
Yeah, but you know how much shit you're probably eating every day, like.
Right. So
no, I know, but
from, you know, people who just handle food with their hands and don't wash their hands.
Yeah, it's gross.
And then I gotta get some spit on top of that too. You know, adds the flavor, I think. You know,
it's just gross. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I didn't even. It's a good story to cover, but I don't even know what to say about it because it's just fucking gross. I think.
Was your day?
Right. That's the point. I think a lot of what I try to do on this channel is to just bring up the fact that we don't gotta be fucking assholes like
that. Right. And I mean, I read the article and it said that he was having a bad day, and I mean, you know, I've had bad days, but I don't remember ever spitting on people when I have a bad day, you know. Right. So I think that person, you know, needs some help, and you know, maybe he should get some charges because maybe that'll wake that person up. Because come on, man, you should have some kind of decency in you as a human being. Like, you know, it's 2018, man. Who is spitting in people's foods? I gotta worry about your hair, your hands, you know, the food being contaminated, having, you know, insects in it, all that good stuff, you know. And the last thing I want to think about is, are you spitting in my food, sir?
Yeah, but this is a good point that we just finished talking about the last story, that he might have been doing it for that shock and awe to see if maybe it worked out for him, which was stupid because he didn't think like, yo, nobody's gonna get famous off of spitting this shit. You know, like,
Right.
Like nobody. It's so stupid.
The wrong kind of famous. It's like, oh, hey, you're that guy who spit on stuff.
It's like, oh, you're the guy that has no idea how to market yourself. All right, guys. Well,
hey, it's funny. For spitting on pizza, said no one ever.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys being on this episode today. Kemal, what anything you want to promote or say your Instagram?
I just want to bring up Idiocracy. Have you ever guys saw Idiocracy, the movie?
No, I think I've seen
No?
it. No.
Oh, so I want to recommend this movie to you guys and definitely to the audience. Idiocracy is basically a movie about. Have you ever seen Terry Crews? You know, the brolic black guy who's in all the Old Spice commercials. So he becomes president in that movie because basically, if you haven't noticed, and this is why I'm bringing this up, people are becoming stupider because technology is available to them, and they're becoming lazier and stupider. And all they're focusing on is what you kind of brought up earlier was virtual reality. And in that movie, all they do is they're just glued to their virtual reality, and everybody's just dumb. The president is dumb. So there's only like one smart person left because there's so many more dumb people, the 99%, that the 1% are breeding much, much less. Therefore, they're keeping the money, and all the stupid people are breeding on such a high rate that they're overpopulating us, you know, or the 1%. So basically, the movie is about that, like how the world is going towards a stupid world, a lazy world. And I think that's where this world is going, right? Because technology is supposed to help you become, you know, smarter. Kind of like how we are, right? We discuss stuff. We always bring up, you know, society, you know, shootings and all this stuff that's going on, racism, right? The Me movement. And this movie brings light to what really is going on, right? People are becoming stupider. So I definitely recommend that movie, Idiocracy. Check it out.
Yeah, well, one thing I want to tell the audience is a good way to think about it is if everyone's going to get dumber and you see that happening, just make sure you stay smart and you'll be on top. Trust.
Right.
Yeah, all right, Kemal, where can we find you, Kemal?
Kemal Fit NYC, baby.
Yeah, there you go, on Instagram. And then, Barry, any final words and then how to get you?
No final words, but you can find me on Instagram as well, too, at shattered_plane. And thanks again, bro, for having me.
Man, it's always fun to have you guys on. I really appreciate the audience watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Even share some of this shit. It might be good. Some people might like it. I guess we'll do this next week, maybe another time. I'm going on vacation for a little bit, so we'll see what happens there. But
I better expect a video call while you're on vacation, man. I love you guys. I want to hear you all the time.
Yeah, and probably name this episode the Brochachos because that's what we end up calling ourselves. So if you see that on the thumbnail, now you know. All right. So once again, thank you, Kemal. Thank you, Barry, and I'll catch you guys around. Peace.
Thank you.
Peace.
Later.